Hey, welcome to today's episode of the Smoker Builder Podcast, aka the Pitmaster Secrets Podcast. Today, I'm going to tell you why I changed the name. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Frank Cox here. You've heard me on this podcast now for a couple of years, and I've never really just taken to just doing audio only episodes. I've always done like a video and then took the video and put it on here. Today is the day where I decided I'm going to start just recording podcasts and pushing them out here, and who cares? Just going to go for it because why not? So if you noticed, today is the first episode that got its name changed to the Smoker Builder Podcast. So a little bit of history. I don't know why I never just called it that. I feel like maybe I don't know. It was the marketing guy in me, and I decided that I wanted to have a Pitmaster related podcast, And so anyway, today I decided that, who cares? The Smoker Builder Podcast. Interesting thing happened today, and which led me to the decision to do this, and I'll just kind of go over that. Meanwhile, if you hear doors clanking on a smoker and stuff like that, I am live action cleaning my 3060 Legend offset prototype right now. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing while I'm talking to you, just holding my phone in the other hand. Right now it's running a good 450 degrees, and this is the sound of a water hose dripping. And the sound of a water hose spraying inside my cook chamber, washing all the undesirable grease and stuff from the last cook on this thing down the drain. So anyway, right back at it here while we close the door. Interesting thing happened today. So I get up in the morning, and typically what I do is I go and start making a bunch of posts all over the internet, scattered amongst different places that I publish, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. And was scrolling. Usually what happens is, you make a post and then you start scrolling through the timeline and see different things that pop up. And a little thing popped up today that mentioned Legend Smokers, which is my production offsets that I build. And we can kind of go into why I called it that another time. But anyway, what I did is I saw this that mentioned my Legend Smokers brand name as a YouTube video by a guy over on the YouTubes that has this thing called the Barbecue Buyer's Guide. And, between you and me and the gatepost, I saw his first episode years ago of this Barbecue Buyer's Guide. And I just I had a lot of mixed feelings. I just kind of wasn't really into it or whatever. But this time is the first time it's been about something I made. I've always been excluded from his videos all these years because we make a lot of stuff. And, a lot of that stuff has been behind the scenes, production related stuff, parts and things like that. And, so I'm just going to be a little bit vulnerable with you. I got a little bit offended. Because there was a lot of misinformation in that video. Now, this is not me griping about that. On the other hand, this is me coming clean to you guys about some mistakes I've made in this barbecue industry. So a little bit about me, if you're just now listening to me for the first time. I've been involved in the mechanical trades since 1994. I got my start in the very second Walmart supercenter ever built, tearing down the heads on great big compressors on a refrigerated rack system. This is the big semi-trailer long compressor room that runs all of the refrigerated cases in the store. There's actually two of those, and they're called rack houses. So I started out in the commercial refrigeration supermarket trade, and I did quite a bit of residential heat and air as well, light commercial, stuff like that. 8 years later, 2002, I started my own business, and thinking I knew everything my boss knew. Boy, was I wrong, LOL. So what I wound up doing is learning a lot of really hard lessons that I thought I knew that I really didn't know. And, fast forward literally 20 years later, almost 21 years later, actually, here I am sitting here cleaning a smoker that I built myself and designed and everything, So a lot of that knowledge that I've accumulated over the years has been by making a lot of mistakes. Stupid things that I did that I shouldn't have done. That kind of stuff, trying stuff, being willing to be wrong and okay with it, and build something that everybody said wouldn't work, and then trying to make it work and figuring out why. So that's a little bit of history about me. So I've got, not bragging, just telling you so you get to know me, got about 28 years of experience in the refrigerated trades, moving temperature around via air or water. And so, or other liquids. But anyway, I've applied all that knowledge to building smokers. Well, here's the part about that episode that kind of floored me a little bit, is that whenever it got to the part towards the end of the video that said, there was a thing about engineering, there was a red square with an X in it over the top of legend that basically said, no data available. I got to tell you, that hurt. Man, that one really hurt. I'm not going to lie. Because since, I don't know, I started with the math on offset smokers and reverse flow smokers and ugly drum smokers and gravity feed smokers and vertical reverse flow smokers and pellet smokers and all of that stuff. And you can go back on my YouTube channel as far back as it goes, and you can see I was obsessed about it. And I feel like that a lot of the design data and stuff like that that's out there was actually started on our forum and stuff like that. But not only that, I've been publishing designs since 2010. And I don't know if you're listening to this and you're just now hearing about me or not, but I bet a good majority of people out there have probably bought a set of plans and built their first pit, or at least been influenced by something we did over the years. So anyway, this is why I changed the name of the podcast. I've done a terrible, terrible job of getting to know people and letting them know who I am in barbecue and why I'm obsessed with it and what my company does and things like that. So it's pretty embarrassing, that happened. And I decided that I got to change things. So today what I did, the first step is I came onto this podcast platform and changed the name to the Smoker Builder Podcast. And then you'll notice I'm going to start using a different slogan. The Barbecue Pit Engineer. That's me. That's what I feel like I've been doing. And if you're listening, I would love to get an email from you or a phone call or a private message on some platform, something like that. You can go to our website, smokerbuilderu.com, and, just message me about this episode of the podcast and just kind of let me know how you feel about it. Like, have you heard of smokerbuilder.com before? And what was your first impression when you heard of it? Be honest with me. I can take it. But this episode of the YouTube channel there from this guy really filled me in on how bad it just basically humbled me and made me really understand how bad of a job I've done about communicating who I am and what my company does all these years. So there was a lot of misinformation in that video about our brand and specifications, why we designed things the way we do. Even the company name was wrong several times, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Not going to challenge that. That's my fault. So anyway, what I guess I'm asking you for is just give me some feedback. Let me know how you feel about smokerbuilder.com. Let's get this thing. I got to rebrand the whole deal and get back on the tracks. So I really appreciate you listening to me gripe and complain and about myself, really, and be vulnerable to you today. This barbecue industry thing here is so important to me, and I do it because I love it and stuff like that there. So I hope in some way I've helped you. If not, let me know that, and I'll change and do what I need to do to help you better. Anyway, cheers, guys. If you haven't already, go light a fire and make your smoke thin and blue. This is Frank Cox, Smoker Builder, the barbecue and pit engineer guy, signing off. Take it easy.